Hello everyone, we like to sing. Jeannine likes to sing, don't you Jeannine? Hello.
La la la! I do. Hello.
As evidenced there, she absolutely loves to sing. Do you know who probably doesn't love to sing?
Who?
John Wick.
Yeah, that's true. He's a man of few words, let alone songs.
He's not a big singer.
No.
Can't imagine Keanu being that. Is Keanu a good singer? I feel like he might be a good guitar player.
I think he has a band, actually.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Morgan Hasn't Seen with me, Morgan, and Jeannine.
Hello. Hello. How are you, Morgan?
I am slightly tired, but also slightly not tired, but also excited because we get to talk about John Wick Chapter 2.
Yes.
And it's weird because I think this might be the latest we've ever recorded one of these before it actually comes out. So we have actually seen the latest episode of Game of Thrones.
Yes.
By the time while we are recording this.
Well, it's late. It's late in many ways. Yay
it is late in many ways.
Yay for 8-hour time differences.
But we make it work.
Yes.
And it's good. Scheduling.
Whee!
Scheduling is important. But yes, hello, welcome to the second episode of the Keanu Reeves second series on Morgan Hasn't Seen. I haven't seen many things, have I, Jeannine?
No, you haven't.
I really
it's very
haven't.
sad.
I mean, I don't think it's sad. You might think it's sad.
What do you think, people? Is it sad?
Yes.
We'll put up a poll.
Everybody else thinks it's sad because, as everybody knows, I watch a lot of older movies. That is why I do It's a Wonderful Podcast, the main show on this feed. This show is here because Jeannine wanted to force me to watch a load of movies that I hadn't seen that are more recent, and we did the MCU, and that was all fun. And last week we started our John Wick, Keanu Reeves thing, I don't know, where we talked about John Wick 1, or John Wick 2014, or the first.
And you did the first of its name.
The first of its name.
And you enjoyed it, yes?
I did. I very much enjoyed the first John Wick. It was a very simple story, executed very simply and perfectly for it.
Yes.
It knew exactly what it wanted to do, and it did that. It didn't overcomplicate things, and the action was great. Now, John Wick Chapter 2 is a little bit more complex. It's got a bit more of a plot to it.
It does. I feel like maybe they saw that people really enjoyed some of the elements of the world that they set up in John Wick. So I think they took that opportunity to explore that in this movie.
They definitely go wholehearted into all that. Like, you go to Rome and everything, and it's the Continental Hotel is a worldwide thing.
Yes, very cool idea.
Which I really liked about that. I didn't know that at all. But yeah, you get a bit more with the fact that they have their own, set rules. They have their own currency. They have their own way of doing things.
Gun shopping.
Yeah. It's all very underground, and it's all very organised,
yes.
and it's very high class. And
there's far more people involved than you would even expect.
And also some people that are involved that you wouldn't expect as well. Like, oh, are you involved in this? Are you here right now? Yeah, I'm here right now. I'm involved in this.
Yes, like bum on the street. You're an assassin. Lady playing violin for change. You're an assassin.
Yeah.
Yeah, big
It's
man eating Chinese food. You're an assassin. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
I really liked that about it though. I really liked that it seemed to it really was focused very much on the world more than this personal story of John.
Yes.
Like the first one was, it was just it was an action drama, if anything, and this was kind of more of a general action thriller
Yeah.
type of movie.
And I liked the way they
Um,
figured out how to expand from the first one. Like the plot was very
oh
simple,
yeah,
and then they used the world building to build a bigger story around that. So that was very interesting.
yeah, but I mean, I don't think this movie is dampened by any sort of over complexity,
No.
because it really worked for me like that. I think if it was another simple story, I think they'd have struggled to tell another simple story like that, because it would just be, oh, who's John getting revenge on this time?
Yeah.
Oh, who's John getting revenge on in number 3? And this wasn't about that.
Yeah, it wasn't as
Number 2.
personal. It was just about, something he
It
had
was,
to do.
yeah,
And
it was the fact that he came back to work as the assassin at the end of the first one, basically.
yes.
Reluctantly, but he did. And this one was sort of his... It was sort of his... Was it his... I presume it's his first job back.
Yes.
But he kind of doesn't want to do it.
No. He's very reluctant.
But obviously he has to do
He
it,
has
otherwise stuff goes down, and it's all Ian McShane's all pulling everyone's strings, and it's all very fun because I like Ian
let's start
McShane.
from the beginning. What did you think of
Okay.
the opening sequence? You see
Oh,
that
the opening
old
where
car
he,
movie playing on the side of the building. As the car crashes in the silent movie, you hear a motorcycle slide into focus, crashing, and it's somebody like on a motorbike riding away from somebody. And who is that somebody? It's John Wick.
It's Dracula because Keanu Reeves looks like a vampire, and I love him for that. But yeah, he gets the car that he had stolen in the first. Gets it back in some sort of state.
Yes, he destroys the car as he's trying to retrieve it. But there's actually a lot of cool shots. I think a lot more interesting shots than in the first one. They use a lot of neon lights and a lot of like reflective things. Like in that whole scene where he's getting his car back, he's fighting, but he's fighting in front of like a big puddle of water. So you see the fight reflected in the water at the same time. It's really cool. And then also in that whole scene with the fight in the like mirror room, like they show it from the reflection of the mirrors on the floor. Like there's a lot of cool shots like that. And they use a lot of bright lights and
all throughout this movie. It seemed to me like from the first one, the directors, it's I forget the name because it's a weird name. It's David Leitch and it's Chad somebody, Stahelski or something like that.
yeah.
I wouldn't be very good at any sort of movie trivia competition, as we all know. Schmodown.
Chad Stahelski.
Oh, see, I was close.
Yes.
Would that have got me the point? No, probably not. Spelling counts.
You're gonna have to get a point when you name
spelling counts.
when you name that guy who was the gunsmith guy.
Oh, Serafinowicz.
Yes.
See, I know Peter Serafinowicz because everybody knows Peter Serafinowicz.
But can you spell it?
Yeah, what people don't understand is that there is a hidden C in Serafinowicz.
Yeah.
Right at the end.
It's like CZ at
Before
the end.
the Z.
Yeah.
It's weird. It is weird. I liked how he turned up. I like how there was a few people in this that just sort of showed up
Yeah.
for like a scene.
It was like a
And it
nice
was just
little
like, oh,
montage
okay.
of him getting his like fancy bulletproof suits and getting his guns, and they're
Yeah.
talking about him like, "Can I have a tasting?" And he just goes through them like it's a wine menu or like a 4-course dinner.
It's It is exactly like that. But yeah, what I was saying is like, I think the filmmakers obviously they really sort of they dialed it up from the first one in a lot of ways, in the style of it, in the sort of, I think the choreography improved, the fight choreography improved in this movie.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely. It was very much more intricate, and there was a lot of that great close-up gun work. I loved
yeah,
his fight with Common. Like, while all the fights felt
yeah,
very slick, that fight felt very raw and messy, like a real fight. Like, while they were
and
doing
it,
very like professional moves, it still felt a little raw, and I really appreciated that.
I mean, that one lasted a long
Yes,
time as well.
and
That was a long fight scene.
I loved that part of that fight. Like, there's no music playing. You just hear them like
No,
making their fight sounds. You hear the street noise.
what are fight sounds, Jeannine?
Yeah, all of that. And you could hear like the sirens in the background. And, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I think the way the movie's shot, the cinematography, I think
It
is
was
improved
great.
from the first
Yeah,
one.
some very nice, interesting shots. There's a shot of him just walking across the street, and you just see like in New York, and you see like the sunset coming through the buildings. Like, there's some very
Yeah.
interesting lighting. The way, like I said, they use the neon light is really cool and interesting.
And yeah, I mean they did that some in the first one
Yeah,
when they went to like that
that nightclub.
club.
Yeah,
But for the most part, the first one I think was focused way more on this dramatic character point of he's lost his wife and now he's had his dog and his car. He's had his dog killed and his car stolen, and he's going on revenge. That was the whole point of the first one.
yeah. So the second one, you start
It
out
was,
him getting his car back, and the brother of the guy he killed has his car. And I like that, he beats up all these guys, and then when he comes face to face with the brother, you think, okay, he's going to kill him. But no, he's like, no, peace. And the guy tells him,
yeah,
like, are you capable of that? He's like, why not? And he shares a drink with him, and he just leaves and goes home. Like, I loved that. Like, this is not what he
he
wants to
is.
do. He's just, And then you
No,
find out that the
he
car
is a
was
very
a gift from his wife as well. Because, he pulls the card out of the
yeah.
glove box. And yeah, it was a birthday gift from her when she was still alive. So that's why the car means so much to him.
John Wick is a very realized assassin character. Like, because when you think about like a lot of action protagonists, they are not nowhere near as three-dimensional as John Wick is.
Yeah, and it's great that they can make him so three-dimensional without him having to say very much.
Well, no, but that's because Keanu Reeves is a terrible dialogue actor. For the most part. Even on the odd occasion that he will have to say, like, maybe the word no or the word yes. He's overdoing it so much.
But I think
But it
his
works
minimal
because it's
dialogue
Keanu.
here is perfect.
He's great with his face and he's great with his body in acting. But I don't think anyone will ever say that he's, Laurence Olivier when it comes to being able to deliver dialogue.
But he's also great with minimal dialogue. He
He is. No,
uses those
he
moments
absolutely
well,
is.
I think.
Yeah, it really does work. I'm not saying that it doesn't work at all. But I just find it funny,
So let's get into
to be
the
honest.
meat of this plot. So he is visited by Italian Rami Malek,
I thought he looked like Rami Malek as
Yeah,
well. Who is
no.
that guy?
I don't know.
Someone.
But when I was watching, I was like, who is he reminding me of? He's kind of giving me Rami Malek vibes. So I'm calling him Italian Rami Malek.
Yeah.
Comes to visit him.
I'm happy with that. We can call him Italian Rami Malek.
Yes. And so I guess there's this whole like blood oath thing that like if you do that with somebody, then you owe them a favor later on. And that favor that this guy did for John was involved with the day that he, killed all those people to get his freedom.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
and
liked that they tied it into that.
Yeah, and it's like part of this sort of oath is part of the whole way of doing things. It's part of the whole continental world, right?
Yes, and it's all
like
part of those
it's just
like
a thing.
defined like unbreakable rules. You have to like stick with
Yeah.
these oaths, and you can't conduct business on the continental grounds. Those are like the two biggest rules you cannot break. So this guy comes to him and says, "You owe me a favor. I need you to." But before he can even say what he wants him to do, John's like, "No, I don't want any part of this. Please leave me alone. I don't want to." So the guy leaves and then proceeds to blow up John's house.
Yeah, so John doesn't have a John doesn't have a good day.
No, he does not.
As he rarely does.
No, he's
Quite
just
sad, really.
He's just trying to be home with his new dog that he stole from the pound place or whatever.
I mean, I was half expecting the new dog to die in that fire.
No. We can't do
Because
that to him
isn't
again.
Well, exactly, but I thought that's what happened in John Wick movies.
Every movie he just loses a dog and he gets another one.
Every movie he loses. Wasn't that some sort of joke? I swear that was some sort of joke circulating around. I don't know, do I? I don't know. I hadn't seen the John Wick movies. I thought every movie he lost a dog.
No, it's the same.
Will he lose his dog in John Wick 3? Who knows?
It's the same first dog that they just reference every time and make him feel ridiculous for going on this vengeance spree over a puppy. But it was the cutest damn puppy. And
it wasn't about the dog. It was about the sentiment behind the dog.
People just want to simplify it like that. It's very sad.
Plus, let the man love his pet.
Yeah.
If he wants to love his pet, what's the problem? Cold-hearted people who are incapable of love. No, that's a bit harsh. Actually, I'm not saying that anybody's incapable of love. I'm just going to dig myself out of this hole.
Let's stay on track, buddy.
And say that I really love Ian McShane and the fact that he just sits there and absolutely dominates everything without having to do anything. I want a prequel with young, de-aged Ian McShane.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Being an assassin.
I kind of like
we
that
can
idea.
de-age people these days.
Yeah, well, are you going to pay for that?
No, but John Wick 4, Ian McShane, the Ian McShane Chronicles.
That sounds very...
We'll pay for that.
It's not going to be called that. I think his name is Winston, I believe.
Oh, the Winston Chronicles.
Okay.
The Brother Ray Chronicles, the Ian McShane. Who did Ian McShane play in the Pirates movies? He was somebody.
It was Blackbeard, I believe.
Blackbeard, the Blackbeard Chronicles.
And who was he in Kung Fu Panda?
He was in Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, he was the villain.
I don't know.
He was
I never
the villain.
saw Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda.
Look,
He was
Ian McShane,
he was Tai Lung in Kung Fu Panda, the Tai Lung Chronicles.
Ian McShane, the Tai Lung... No, John Wick, the Tai Lung Chronicles, starring Ian McShane. You have to have Ian McShane's name in the title, because he's contractually obliged.
Okay.
We're
just writing... We write all the hits here, people, on Morgan Hasn't Seen. If you have...
we came...
If you want a hit show, come to us. Bing!
We want a hit movie, like... What about a hit movie like Colonel Slasher Sanders?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Which is the fried chicken killer.
You're giving away all our best ideas.
All of our best ones.
Yeah, shh.
And now
It's
we
top
have
secret. Like
John
the Colonel's
Wick, the
secret
Winston
recipe.
Chronicles. Like the Colonel's secret recipe. What is the 27 mixes of herbs and spices? I don't know. KFC.
Okay, this is a terrible tangent.
This is a terrible tangent.
It's very
Stop
early
being
for you
silly.
and very late for me, so please pardon our
It's gonna be
nonsense.
great, isn't it?
people.
Yeah. We might not go on for 90 minutes this week, but you can be damn sure it'll be just as stupid as ever.
Yeah.
No, but I really like him. I really like Ian McShane.
Oh yeah, he's a total boss.
He is a great sort of figurehead of this whole organisation, I think. And I love that he calls him Jonathan, and he's the only one that can get away with calling him Jonathan.
Well, the Italian guy called him Jonathan too, I believe.
Well, yeah, but he also killed him.
No, he didn't. The Italian, like
no, he
the
didn't.
Italian continental guy, the Italian Winston.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it's just the owners of the hotel. Does Winston own the hotel, or is Winston just the figurehead?
I think he's the figurehead of the New York branch of the Continental, and maybe he also is kind of in charge of all of the whole kind of world, but he's like the figurehead of the New York one specifically.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I want to see then. I want to see a really sort of high up, like, where are all the
Continental
Continentals?
people.
I want them all to come together, and then Ian McShane just run the show like The Godfather.
Yes.
When they all come together, the 5 families, and Brando's running the show as the New York branch of. Well, it's all in New York, I suppose, but
Well,
he's the main one.
They do mention something called the High Table, which is what comes into play. So since John Wick's house is blown up, Winston advises him to do what he's supposed to do when he did that whole blood oath with Italian Rami Malek. And so he finds out.
Go and do the job.
And so the job is that Italian Rami Malek wants John Wick to kill his sister so that he could get her place at the High Table, which is, I guess, this group of people who control most of the city of New York, I guess. Like most of the territory, most of the general territories and wherever. I don't.
Yeah, I don't think it's made particularly clear. Does his sister have? Is she part in? Is the High Table a kind of thing in New York, or is it a thing in the whole world?
I think it might be a thing in the whole world, because
just Rome.
They show the sister having that meeting with that guy and telling him how all his territories are hers now, and that the guy kind of says, "Well, you took it with a knife at our throats," and she's like, "Those are just semantics. What you have is ours now," and blah blah blah. So I think it's just general, like all over territories, I would think. But when John Wick is trying to get help from Lawrence Fishburne, a nice little Matrix reunion
Lawrence Fishburne, by the way,
he talks about
is great.
Yeah, he is great. He talks about, I think, him once he gets the spot at his sister's spot at the High Table, he'll be taking over all these parts of New York. So I'm not sure if it's like New York specific, but I would think it's like a lot of different territories. So
maybe we will get more clarification on that in John Wick 3.
So maybe the High Table will be a bigger part in 3.
Yeah, because I have no idea what 3's about.
Chapter 3, Parabolum.
That's not a word. What is
Parabellum.
That doesn't make sense.
Parabolum.
I have no idea what that word
well,
means.
Look it up.
Okay. Don't be harsh.
Google it.
Means?
Google it.
Google the word. No.
Yeah,
no,
so.
I won't Google it. Tell me what it is.
Let's do some fun facts
Rome.
here.
Rome. You know what I liked? Rome.
Oh, yes.
Loved all the Rome stuff. I like Italy. Rome was great. It was all... Like I said before, though, this movie, I think he's shot a lot better than the first one. It's clear they sort of saw the success of the first one and thought, ooh, let's pump a bit more money into this now, because it will make stuff.
Oh, that's
And
very
they did do
interesting.
that. And thank you. I think what I am saying is very interesting. And you're not just looking at any sort of trivia right now.
No,
That's
I
fine.
actually looked up the definition of parabellum or parabolum.
Okay. Okay. What's that then?
A type of semi-automatic pistol or machine gun.
Oh, it's a gun?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was going to be some sort of cool,
There's even
philosophical term.
There's even a little audio clip here that if I hit it, it'll say how to pronounce the word. Should I play it?
Yes, you should.
Okay, let's see.
Parabellum.
Parabellum. Thank you, Siri.
Well, I like to say
Google.
parabolum.
I like to say parabellum.
Oh, is that the European way? Is that the British way to say it?
No, it's the Swedish way to say it. It's got a little one of those umlaut dots on the top of the
Okay.
U. It's parabellum.
Oh, okay. You learn something new every day, people, on Morgan Hasn't Seen.
Yeah, but you also learn the same thing if you have listened to all of them. You learn that we're idiots, and we kind of rarely end up talking about the movie and just talk about anything
Random
and just make
nonsense.
noises. Random nonsense is the way the world goes round. If the world didn't have random nonsense,
Well,
it would be burned to ash.
If we had a subtitle like John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, it would be Morgan Hasn't Seen
Parabellum.
Random Nonsense.
Morgan hasn't.
Morgan hasn't seen Chapter 2, Random Nonsense.
Chapter. Morgan hasn't seen the Ian McShane Chronicles.
And it comes full circle.
Yeah, it comes full circle. Join us next month for Ian McShane movies. No, we're not doing Ian
Well, you
McShane
haven't seen
movies.
Kung Fu Panda, so it's already on the list.
Oh, that's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. And
So Rome, you said you liked Rome.
John Wick.
And I did actually
I did like
appreciate
Rome.
that they didn't put dumb like Rome titles on the screen every time you went to a new
no.
place.
You mean like the Avengers do?
Yeah. But I did
What
like
was that one? What was that one MCU movie where the title cards
or
were
huge.
so huge?
I think that was Civil War.
It was just
Lagos.
Vienna.
Yeah.
Whoa, okay. You just have to do that little thing in the side, like most movies do.
But I did like the actual use of like little subtitles in the movie. They use cool fonts and colors to kind of emphasize things like that. Like that was a
I
nice
loved
little
that.
clever touch.
I loved that in the first one when they're speaking a different language. I again, this is something that sort of improved for me in the second one, whereas they change the colour of certain words, certain keywords in whatever translated text is happening.
And like one word is maybe a lot bigger and how they kind of fade out. Like that was really just a nice clever touch. I really appreciated that.
It's very graphically well done.
Yes. And they do that a lot when Ruby Rose is doing her sign language.
I don't really want to talk about Ruby Rose, okay?
We
Moving
will
on.
talk about one thing we did not like. I think we can agree that we both did not like Ruby Rose.
Well, this was the year that
They were
found
trying
out
to
that
make
this was
Ruby
the
Rose
year-
happen.
Yeah, when every damn thing in the world seemed to have Ruby Rose in. Wasn't Ruby Rose in a Fast and Furious movie? Or
No,
like
she was in
some
that
other
terrible Triple X movie. She was in with the Hound.
Triple X movie.
With
What is Rory
Yeah.
McCann doing?
Yes, in the Triple X, the something of Xander Cage or whatever, that terrible one where he's like windsurfing on a skateboard or something crazy like that.
Windsurfing on a
I don't know,
skateboard.
from sharks and
Do you have a skateboard? Does he have a skateboard on the water?
something
How do you
ridiculous.
windsurf on a skateboard? Is it
Xander
just a
Cage
tiny
can do it.
surfboard?
So yeah, I believe the
Yeah, of
Hound is
course
in
he
it.
can.
Ruby Rose is in it. Yeah, yeah. It's like
so
the time,
disappointed
the
in
year that
Rory
they tried to
McCann.
make Sam Worthington happen, and the year they tried to make Taylor Kitsch happen.
Look, I don't hate... Sam Worthington is definitely the best of those three, by the way. Taylor Kitsch, no.
They're
But
still
Ruby
trying to
Rose
make Toby
especially,
Kebbell
like, she
happen.
barely speaks.
I
She
think he
doesn't
just needs to
speak.
stick with mocap. And that's the only way Toby
Yeah,
Kebbell's going to
'cause
happen.
he's fine.
I'm sorry, Toby Kebbell.
He's fine. Toby Kebbell's fine
He
when
is
it comes to
fine,
mocap.
but he just does crap movies.
Yeah. Ruby Rose, though, I mean, she doesn't speak in this movie because she uses sign language.
And probably because she's just not a great actress.
And that's exactly why I think she used sign
But,
language.
like, there's
Because, oh
literally-
God, we don't want to
Her
hear her
death
speak
scene,
in a
her
weird
death scene is
Australian
terrible.
accent.
Her death scene is terrible. There's a part where she's literally drinking some tea out of a styrofoam cup, and that looks terrible. It looks really fake.
Every damn thing she does is terrible.
I just did not like her in this movie. She was like, I appreciate, oh yeah, cool. He's got like a lady bodyguard, and she's deaf, and it's really cool. But
Oh
she
yeah,
was just-
sure, yeah.
She could have been really
absolutely.
cool.
It's just a shame that cool lady bodyguard was Ruby Rose.
Yeah, she just looked like Kate McKinnon's.
And I'm sure-
Kate McKinnon's Justin Bieber impersonation from SNL. No, I don't want it.
That's so accurate.
I don't want it.
That is
No.
very, very
Don't
accurate.
want. Yeah.
And look, I'm sure Ruby Rose is a perfectly nice human being. I just think it's weird that there was that one year where she happened, or she seemed to be, in absolutely everything for no good reason.
I think it started
And you
with
were
Orange
trying
is
to
the New
make-
Black, and then they just tried to put her in more
It
stuff.
did.
Yeah.
And I used to watch Orange is the New Black back when it was good. It hasn't been... It was good for like the first like 2
Yeah, that's all I watched.
/ 3 years. And that show went a different direction. Some of the stuff that they did in it was perfectly good. I liked some of the stuff, but also there was
Ruby Rose.
seemed less focused on. But well, Ruby Rose was only in it for like a season.
Yeah, I didn't watch that far.
I just think they knew what they were doing in the first couple. Anyway, screw Orange is the New Black. We're not talking about that. Perfectly good show for the first 2 seasons.
So another
No, not Ruby Rose. What are we
actor.
talking about?
I'm using air quotes.
Common.
I'm using air quotes. Actor. Common.
Yes.
I
Common.
feel like he's maybe like the Black Keanu Reeves in the fact that he does better with few words and simple dialogue. But he does
Well, there's
the
that-
fights really well.
He does. There's that one really high quality acted exchange, which is
Them at the bar.
John, are you working? Yes. Are you? Yes. Okay then. And that's it.
Bravo.
That's my impression of a exchange between Common and
John Wick.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
But somehow it works
works.
because it's them two, and you just enjoy it anyway.
And that's why
the
Common's
fighting is
Oscar
great.
is not for acting.
And that is why Common's Oscar is not for acting. Schmodown question number 1, what is Common's Oscar for?
For a song he wrote with John Legend for Selma.
There you go. Well done. That is a solid 3-pointer.
Yeah, I'm a genius. It's okay.
Solid
be impressed.
3-pointer there. Well done, Jeannine. Well done. But yeah, their fighting is great. They're sort of...
Can I
love
also
how-
say it's not that great that he's not very good with words considering he is a rapper.
No, it's not. It's not. I mean,
He's a great
maybe
rapper.
it's just acting.
He's a great rapper, but
Maybe it's just acting then. Maybe it's just scripted work. Maybe he likes to freestyle, Jeannine.
maybe,
You don't know.
maybe.
Maybe Coleman is a freestyle rapper.
Do you like to freestyle, Morgan?
No.
I feel like we're doing a
No.
lot of freestyle right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, I like to freestyle like this. I mean, I do not like to freestyle rap. Can you imagine me doing any such thing?
You might have to.
Exactly. That little laugh said it all. I think there would not work at all. But yeah, I loved their sort of their relationship. Their sort of because you at first think it's just like, oh, okay, these two know each other from where exactly? What's going on here?
It kind of happens
And then, oh god, they're against each other.
Well, yeah, it just kind of sort of happens that... So John is tasked to kill Italian Rami Malek's sister. He goes to kill her. And then, he has a nice conversation because he doesn't want to kill her. So he has a nice conversation with her, and she knows what he's there for. And she asks him, well, you got your freedom from my brother, so basically it's your wife who is now signing, my death notice right now.
Mm-hmm.
And she asks his wife's name, and they have like a moment. And then she proceeds to kill herself so she could go out on her own terms.
Yeah.
But then John still shoots her in the head so that he technically does what he was supposed to do so he can just get out of this mess.
Yeah. How very Olenna Tyrell of Italian Rami Malek's sister.
Yes.
Goes out on her
own
doesn't go out on her own terms. Well, yeah, kind of.
And that causes all the conflict with Common because Common is like her main bodyguard.
Yeah.
So as John
but I didn't know that when Common first showed up.
But then, as John is trying to escape, like he walks away, and then Common sees him and recognizes him and asks him,
Yeah.
okay, what are you doing here?
I didn't clock on that he was her bodyguard because I'm an idiot. And I just thought, oh, buddies. No, not buddies at all.
He's very
By the way,
curious
that
as to
death
why he's
scene,
there.
that death scene is beautifully shot.
Oh, yeah.
It has some absolutely stunning shots in it.
And I just like even him just going up to her, and she, cuts her wrists, and he just goes and he kind of takes her hand until she passes.
Yeah. It is kind of nice.
Yeah.
We'd still do. John Wick does have a heart.
He does.
As we know.
Like, he didn't want to do it. And he was
movie.
only doing it to get out of whatever he had to get out of. But then that leads into a very interesting and intense, like catacombs kind of tunnel fight.
Yeah, and I really like that.
With lots of guns and close-up shooting and...
Which I think has also been improved from the first movie.
Yes.
The whole gun fu stuff.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes, you remembered.
Yeah, I think it was good in the first one, but I think they really thought, after the first one came out and was kind of successful, I think everybody just must have come together and thought, we've got something here, we've got a good series here, and let's train for this one.
Yeah, let's amp it up. Yeah.
And Keanu is really, you can tell.
Oh, yeah.
That he's seriously trained up for this one. And I'm sure he was for the first one, but he seriously is for this second one, and I'm sure he is for the third one as well.
Oh, yeah. And, I love that he's just, using guns as, a physical way of fighting as well. So, if the gun's out of bullets, he's, throwing it at them. He's, using it to defend himself and, stab people with. And, he's using it as part of the fighting style, which is really unique to these movies. And I love that these guys were stunt guys, so they could come up with something that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, and that, that plays into it as well, the fact that the directors are stunt people works in this whole series' favour.
Yes.
Of course, he gets all these guns from Peter Serafinowicz.
Yes.
Who is great.
And then we get a double cross here in the catacombs as he's running away from Common and the sisters guys. he finds out that Italian Rami Malek also has sent guys to kill him just to kind of end it all. So even though
Yeah.
John Wick has done what he's
Which is
wanted
not
him to
okay,
do,
by the way.
yeah,
That's not in the rules.
No. Like, John has done what he's supposed to do, but yet Italian Rami Malek is still just trying to kill him just to kind of cover all the bases, I guess.
I love how we've not checked what his name is,
Yeah,
and we
no,
just
I
still
like
call
calling
him.
him
I don't want to check what his name is.
Italian Rami Malek.
It's like calling him Italian Rami Malek.
So, of course, John kills everybody.
Of course he does. He's John Wick.
And then the guy calls John Wick and tells him, "Oh, well, I have to avenge my sister's death, John. So, I'm going to put
To which John Wick responds,
by hanging
"What?
up." So, yeah, then he puts
I
out...
have to avenge my sister's death that I told you to go and kill." To which John Wick responds, no.
So a $7 million hit is now put out on John Wick. And I love that, like, you
As
see...
Lawrence Fishburne told.
And then you see all the, hot tattooed operators who run the whole network of setting up contracts. And,
Oh, yeah.
like, I love that.
That was very 50s, but also everyone had tattoos, so it was very 2010s.
Yes, I appreciated that. I keep telling our good friend Rachel Silvestrini to cosplay as one of those operators, as she is inky and
I could see that. I
covered
could see
with
that.
tattoos.
She is inky.
And she does
You
have
know
that 50s vibe. So,
She isn't the brain.
no, well, I'm going to tell her you said that.
Well, she isn't the brain. There's two of them.
Yeah,
She
but
has
the
to
whole
be
joke of it
inky.
is she's inky and the brain. I'm going to tell her
no.
you said she doesn't have a brain.
Oh yeah, because that's what I said.
That's exactly what you said. Oh, she's inky, but she's not the brain. Okay.
She can't be the brain.
Sure
It's
she can.
the two people. It's two people. I feel bad for Devon Stewart. What's he doing? He's neither of them. That's not fair.
I think we established it's actually Devon, and everyone just calls him Devon.
Well, damn it, I don't know.
I think we actually learned that in their last match, and everyone was calling him Devon, and it's actually just Devon. But anyway,
But
we digress
anyway,
as per usual.
Rachel, you should cosplay as one of those operators.
Yes. So now I love that, everywhere around him, these phones are going off because the word is out. $7 million if you kill John Wick.
Everyone around him as well.
I love that the manager,
Every random
the
people.
hotel manager that we love, he's so great. Lance Reddick, I believe is his name.
Oh, my favorite character in the whole
I
thing.
love him. He's just at the desk and he looks up and he sees everybody's phones going off and he's like, "What is happening?" So yeah. And then we get this great montage of him just kind of going through the city and people just coming at him. So this seemingly fine lady playing her violin at the train station for tips, pulls out a gun and attacks him. And then this guy, this big sumo guy, is eating his Chinese food, wrestles him to the ground. And and just his little montage of killing all these people who are trying to kill him. And we actually do get to see him kill people with a pencil.
Yes, which I really liked.
Yes, he killed two people with pencils.
Look, it's kept being brought back. John, did you know that John Wick once killed 17,000 people in a bar with a pencil? Yes, we all know that story. Stop telling us that
They even tell you
story.
again, they remind you at the beginning of this movie that he killed somebody with a pencil.
But now we see him kill someone with a pencil, and it's absolutely horrific.
Yes.
I would not like to be killed with a pencil, Jeannine. Please don't do that.
I can't make any promises. It's my weapon
Please
of
don't
choice.
kill me with it. Please don't kill me with it. It's your weapon, a pencil. What's your weapon? What's your weapon of choice? I like to use a gun. What's yours? A knife, a spear. I like to use a pencil.
You know what I like to use?
The pencil is mightier than the sword, Jeannine.
I like to use a parabolum.
You like to use a parabolum. A paraboloom.
Yes.
If I knew what one looked like, no, probably wouldn't.
Well, he said it's a
want it.
machine gun.
I'm not a violent person.
A semi-automatic machine gun.
Can you imagine me trying to fire at any sort of gun?
As much as
Number
I can,
one, I wouldn't
as much
do
as
that
I
anyway.
can picture you freestyling.
Number one, I wouldn't fire a gun anyway. Not my thing. Number two, even if I did, I imagine the recoil on these weapons would fling me back.
What are you talking about? You've been going to the gym, right? Like,
Well, yeah, I guess. I guess I'm maybe not as stick insect as I once was.
perhaps.
I'm not like Keanu, though.
And Halle Berry, she just put out a gun video of her training with guns for John Wick Chapter 3. Parabolum.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Halle Berry. I haven't seen Halle Berry in anything in ages.
And she's badass. And she's got like some dogs with her. Like, yeah, I'm excited.
Of course, she's got some dogs with her. It's a John Wick movie. You have to have dogs.
And she's like in her 50s, kicking ass, just like Keanu. Like, I'm super
Halle
excited.
Berry's in her 50s.
I believe she's in her 50s. I do believe.
Well, everybody's so much older
Yeah.
than you think they are. Like Paul Rudd, he's like 58.
Yeah.
Well, he's not like 58, is he? But he's old.
She's like 52.
Yeah.
And he's like 54.
Paul Rudd.
Well, not, yeah, Paul Rudd is in his 50s now.
Paul Rudd, who looks 30.
Yeah.
It's insane. Life is insane. People are insane. John Wick is insane. Ian McShane is insane. Common is insane. Ruby Rose is
terrible. And we
terrible.
can go back to Lawrence Fishburne. We didn't talk about him very much.
Lawrence Fishburne is
Yes.
insane. I love Lawrence Fishburne. I liked that he showed up halfway through this movie.
So he's kind of part of an underground network of, I think, people in this world. And they kind of had a falling out in a way where I guess John Wick was supposed to kill him, but he told him, if you hold your neck a certain way, you will not bleed out and you will live. And if you don't, then you will die. So John Wick, like, I guess was tasked to kill him, but gave him a second chance by telling him what he could do to save himself. So,
well, doesn't he say that to Common as well?
he does. So that kind of comes back.
Yeah.
He like stabs him
He
in the
says,
chest.
hold
and
your neck
says,
this way, you'll be fine.
yeah, if you take out this knife, you will bleed out. But if you leave it in, you're good, buddy.
Leave it in. Leave it in. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
I've done my job, but you'll be fine. I don't want to kill you, but I have to.
So yeah, since there is this $7 million hit on him, he has to go underground. So he gets some help from Lawrence Fishburne and all his like pigeons and hobo people. And
Lawrence Fishburne's group of pigeons and hobo people.
I think I saw the
John Wick.
I think I saw
John
the
Wick
Feed the
Chapter
Birds
5,
lady from
the-
Mary Poppins and the crazy old lady
Did
from
you
the
see
park from Home Alone 2.
I was gonna say her. Where's the bird lady from Home Alone 2?
And Mary Poppins. Feed the birds. Tuppence back.
That's what I want to
He
see.
doesn't use
John
gold
Wick-
coins to pay her. He uses tuppence.
John Wick Chapter 6. Lawrence Fishburne's Pigeons and Hobo People Chronicles. And I found out as well, but because I'm an idiot and didn't realise that Lawrence Fishburne isn't the only person to star in both the MCU and the DC.
Oh yeah, I remember you
universe
thinking you were really
movies.
smart about
There's
that
actually
one.
loads
Which
of
is a good
people.
one. Yeah, he was an
I
Ant-Man.
was,
And he
really
was-
proud of
he
myself
was in,
because I feel like everybody would forget
Batman
that
v
Lawrence
Superman.
Fishburne's in the MCU.
Yes.
And Man of Steel, I feel like everybody would I
No,
feel
that's a
like
good
if
pull.
people would forget that Lawrence Fishburne's in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
That's a good pull. But then I also mentioned Randall Park,
But then, like,
who's in Ant-Man
Jeannine
and
comes out
Aquaman.
with a whole list of people. It's just like Jaimin Hansu, Florence Kasumba. It's just okay. I didn't
Yeah.
know. I didn't think.
Soon to be Idris Elba.
Soon to be Idris Elba, Randall Park, like you said. It's like, okay, once you start saying them, like, I get it, okay, I get it. I just thought I did well by
You did. That was a very good
getting
pull.
Lawrence
It was a very good
Fishburne.
pull.
As we've already discovered, I'm not winning any movie trivia tournament
It's okay. It's okay.
or single matches or anything. I would fail. Yeah, but I like Lawrence Fishburne. I like the fact that there's this little Matrix reunion, even though I do not care for the Matrix all that much. It's still fun to see actors who are known for such a famous movie
Come back together again.
who
I appreciate
come back
that.
together,
Definitely.
however many years later it is. Will Lawrence Fishburne be in John Wick 3 Parabellum or
Parabellum.
not?
Perhaps with his pigeons and hobo people. Feed the birds.
Do they have Chronicles?
Tuppence a bag.
I just like putting Chronicles on everything.
I think you do.
Ever since I learned of the existence of, Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles,
with Lena Headey.
I just think that every spin-off should have the word Chronicles on it.
Does that mean you have to
You
watch
could
the
do-
Chronicles of Riddick?
No. I mean, Morgan hasn't seen, but no.
You don't want to watch Vin Diesel? Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to get a lot of Vin Diesel
I'm
coming
gonna
up in
have to watch enough
July.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to watch enough Vin Diesel. Stupid Vin Diesel. Don't even
Do you know what his real name is?
go by his real name. I do know what his real name is. His real name, I know this one, it's Mark Sinclair.
No.
No, it's Mark somebody.
Well, it's Mark Vincent. That's why he got the Vin from
Is it Mark
Vince.
Sinclair?
So it might be
or-
Mark Vincent Sinclair, but that's where the Vin comes from because it's Mark Vincent.
Oh, see, so I was right, but you're just saying I wasn't right.
And he used to be a hip hop dancer.
So you're just not going to give me that one, even though I was right.
I never heard the Sinclair. I just heard the Mark Vincent.
Pretty sure it's Sinclair.
So maybe it's Mark Vincent Sinclair, and Vincent is the middle name, and that's where he got the Vin from.
Well, that would make sense. I still think Vin Diesel is a stupid name. Yeah, it's Sinclair. Mark Sinclair. See, I was right. 1 point to me.
Well, his middle name is Vincent.
Well, it might be, but his middle name isn't Diesel, is it? So where the hell has he got Diesel from? Was he just wearing a pair of jeans one day? He was just wearing a pair of Diesel jeans one day and thought, I know what I want my name to be. Diesel. What if he was wearing a pair of, I don't know. What are all the brands of jeans? Levi's, but that's not a stupid name. I don't know clothes. I just wear clothes. I don't know clothes. I just wear clothes. There's my new catchphrase, by the way.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So no. Vin, what were we talking about before we decided to? It's been a show full of the whole what were we talking about before we started to be stupid kind of conversations, hasn't it?
Yes.
What were we actually talking about? Should we begin to maybe wrap this up? I feel like we've said what we need to say. I love John Wick Chapter 2, to be honest with you. I've heard people say that almost. I think in terms of a simple story executed to the best of its capability, I don't think it's as good. But I really like what they did with it. I really like everything about it, and I'm excited to see the third one. And I don't think it packed as much of a sort of oh, emotional punch, this means something to John, this is great.
It's
I
just
just
him
think it
trying to
was
get
a
out of
very, very
this.
good action movie
and-
and a very, very stylish movie, and I really like, you know me, when it comes to neon style
Oh yes.
and stuff like that, I'm all for that. So and I liked the whole mirror room fight
Yeah,
scene
that's
that
very
you
good.
mentioned before.
Especially because that's where Ruby
was
Rose gets killed.
It does, but it was very Enter the Dragon, and I like Enter the Dragon, and that's great.
It's very cool. And were you very surprised when he broke continental rules and just killed Italian Rami Malek?
Absolutely disgusted in John Wick, to be perfect. No, I wasn't. I didn't really care, but I like the fact that there are those rules, and I like the fact that Ian McShane was kind of nice about it, but also kind of like, you broke our rules, Jonathan.
So he gave him an hour
He did give him an hour. You get an hour's head start, run.
before you're excommunicado. So I like that word. It's a very good word.
Excommunicado.
Yes.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Ian. Yeah, John Wick Chapter 5, the Ian McShane Chronicles. Really excited.
So remember I told you, like, how is 3 even going to start? Like, he's on the run through the city. Like, you've already seen pretty much everyone around him is an assassin.
Sprint, charge.
And everyone's phones are just going off as he's running through the city. Like, how is he going to get out of this?
I don't know, but I imagine the third one will start with him just sprinting through New York. Because he's got no home to go to.
He does not.
Which is a shame. He can't go to the Continental.
He cannot.
It's not going to be.
Because he's
it's not going to be.
excommunicado.
Jeannine, it's not going to be a good time of John Wick's life.
It is not.
The third movie.
No, but he has his dog.
It's going to be a rough time.
He's a man with his dog.
He does somehow still have his dog.
And he still hasn't named it yet, so maybe he'll name it
No,
Parabolum.
Maybe he will. Maybe he will. He's doing what the free folk north of the wall do to their young. They don't give them names in case they die before the age of 2.
No, that's terrible.
Did you not know that?
No, but that's terrible. You already think this dog is going to die before the age of 2. You can't put him through that
that's
again.
What they do.
That's awful.
I'm just saying that's what they do. I'm just saying it's probably that, for that reason, that he doesn't want to get too, because they don't want to get too attached to them, right?
Yes.
So they don't give them names until they reach a certain age.
Yeah.
It's horrible, but it makes sense.
Well,
Jeannine.
I don't think they would do that again to poor John Wick. I really don't.
No, and neither do I, now that I know that a dog doesn't die in every one of these movies.
I'm glad you know.
Like I thought they did, even though there was only 2 of them. But yeah, I really like John Wick 2. Thank you for forcing me to watch John Wick Chapter 2, Jeannine.
Very neon. It's just as slick as the other one. Very intricate fights and style and cool montages and great music and just great world building and expanding and still tying it into the first one. And I'm very excited to see what's going to happen in Chapter 3, Parabola.
Yeah, so that is going to do us. For Morgan hasn't seen episode 2 of Keanu Reeves' season, is what it is. I know that for a fact. Yeah, Jeannine, hype some stuff up. What's happening? What's going on? Well, we're obviously doing John Wick Chapter 3 next week.
We are.
Because we will have seen it on this show. But yeah, what's going on? What you up to?
Just hanging out.
Just hanging out.
Kinda not too much going on right now. I'm gonna have some Schmodown matches probably coming out soon, and
well, you were just at Malton Fest.
I was just at Malton
How was
Fest
that?
selling my wares. It was very fun, a great event, and my friends did an awesome job putting all that together. And hopefully, there will be more Malton Fests for years to come. And I will
Malton
hopefully
Festies.
get to be a part. But yeah.
Maltin Fest Chapter 2, the Leonard Maltin Chronicles.
Yes, I like it. I like it.
And Chapter 3 will be the Jesse Maltin Chronicles, and Chapter 4 will be the Alice Maltin Chronicles.
I like it. I like it. I think they'll be into it. But yeah, other than that, you can find my Patreon at Jeannine LC and become a patron. I got some fun things going on over there. And you can find me on the socials at Jeannine Dabine on Twitter and Instagram, and my TeePublic shop at G9 Design.
And Machine Mondays on TriviaSD.
See, thank you. You always remind me of Machine Mondays. Yes, Machine Mondays, a weekly article I write on TriviaSD.com. Check it out.
Yay! Well, guys, you can find me all over this very podcast feed. We are, of course, in Monster Movie May on It's a Wonderful Podcast, the main show, with me and Nolan. We have Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 1956 coming up this week on Friday, so keep an eye out for that. And we will have 2 more monster movies for you to close out the month of May before we get on to whatever we get on to. I'm sure we will also on that show do a little bit of a remembering of Doris Day, who died this week. I think it seems a bit more appropriate to do it on It's a Wonderful Podcast than on this show, I think
so.
But rest in peace, Doris Day. Rest in power, Doris Day is what is a better thing to say. I like that a lot. But yes, find me, like I said, all over this podcast feed. Follow the podcast on Twitter at It's a Wonderful One with a number 1. Check out the show on all your podcast providers, your Apple Podcasts, where you can rate and review, leave those nice 5-star reviews, and it really helps us. And please do it because it's great. And I don't like asking for a lot of things, but I like asking for that because it will really help us.
Well, you could beg like Danny and see where that gets you.
No.
Hashtag Game of Thrones.
Not going to. We haven't even talked about Game of Thrones. I think it's because we're all still processing Game of Thrones.
I don't want to piss anybody off, so I think it's better.
I would imagine we'll be doing a fairly lengthy discussion after next week's finale.
Yeah.
I would imagine probably will. And also, it's not fun to talk about Game of Thrones anymore, Jeannine.
Not really, because everybody gets crazy.
Because everybody gets crazy about it. And I did actually have a nice civil discussion with somebody, Justin, I think, or Jason. So I want to give a shout out to him because I actually had a nice civil discussion with him about Game of Thrones. We were disagreeing, but it was nice and it wasn't, there was nobody shouting at each other, and that's really what we need. So thank you to him. But yeah, more John Wicky stuff next week. Find me on the Twitter, like I said, find me on the Twitter at the Purple Dawn with a 3 instead of the E in the, because 3 is the magic number. Or on Instagram at the Purple Dawn with no 3, because Instagram's easy. Twitter is not easy these days, especially with Game of Thrones.
No, not so much.
Stay safe out there, guys. Stay safe on the socials, please, for the love of God. But yes, go and find the show on Spotify as well, and on Stitcher, Castbox, Podbean, other places. Overcast is a thing. Or on whatever podcast provider you listen to it on. But yes, please, if you can go on over to the Apple Podcasts and leave a nice 5-star review, it will be great and we'll love you for it. Whether it's for this show or for the main show, It's a Wonderful Podcast with me and Nolan. We'll love you either way, because that's what we like to do on the whole feed. It's love, and we don't like to be all negative about things, even though we kind of don't like Ruby Rose. at least will acknowledge that she's probably a perfectly nice person. I just don't see why they try to make her happen. Jeannine's gone off the rails, and so have I. Okay, until next week, guys. John Wick Chapter 3, like I said, keep an eye out on Friday, or keep an eye out whenever you are listening to this, for the Invasion of the Body Snatchers episode of the main show. And all throughout Monster Movie May, keep an eye on the whole feed. Until next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye.